I wouldn't say the goat, but we know that's George.
Yeah.
So we'll say you're the Cormier, you're the DC to his John Jones.
Oh, wait a minute. I have a winning record against him.
He's still the goat, man. He's still the goat.
All right,
It's
then
it's
it's be
like
something else
It's
then.
okay. It's like John Jones said. He says if DC would be the goat if he didn't fight in my era.
But that's because you can't beat him.
That's true. That's a good point.
It would have to be like I don't know, GSP and who's right now, Kamaru or something,
Okay, yeah,
because
that's
it's
fine.
like different. I
GSP's
guess.
the man.
I
GSP's the
guess.
goat for sure, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But that's just my
Yeah, I
opinion.
like GSP. Yeah, for sure.
So for those that don't know, Patrick is the owner of the Majestic store. You can find him in Orange County. Where did you
Yeah,
move to?
Santa
Orange
Ana.
County,
Yeah.
Santa Ana. Uh, he's the first and biggest HeroClix only store, I would say.
Yeah.
And
It's like does it count if I'm the only one?
well, Jeff, right? Jeff's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But he's up there, like
that's true.
6 hours away, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. But Pat and I are good friends. We've been friends now for what 6, 7 years, something like that.
When did you come? When did you play in the first one?
Uh, 2013,
Was it 12, 2012 or 2013?
2012 is one or the other. So I'd say 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, I just remember this.
Oh yeah,
Like the whole time, just
just
that's what it was. Yeah, and you're like, "Can I use your dice?" Oh, yeah, right
yes,
here.
yes. For those who
That
don't
was the
know,
funniest one. That
for
was the
those who
funniest.
don't
Just
know,
like
go
this.
ahead and tell the story. For those who don't know about
Oh,
the dice,
oh yeah, because we have the because I mean, obviously everything has gone, everything has evolved since the primitive. I feel like it's like the gladiator days to like how MMA is now, where before it's like to the death or whatever. So it's
yeah,
like unregulated and everything. Like now there's regulation. So back then people would play like bone dice, these a dice with inside a dice. They'd have like a box full of dice and be like, yeah, this is my super sense roll, this is my blaze roll, this is my imperv shape change, or whatever. And here's my attack dice. Like, what? Why is everybody? And then like midway, after a couple turns, they'd switch dice out, and then
yeah,
people would be like, hey, well, you only won because you switched dice or whatever. So
yeah.
we made a rule. It's like, look, we have these generic
House dice.
house dice. It's the white dice with the black pips 1 through 6. That's it. Yeah, just like we just had a bunch of those because that's like what came in all of like the Whiz Kids like starters and fast forwards. Like, all right, well that's about as official as we can
This is
get.
before the little ones,
Yeah,
right?
the little
Now
yeah,
the
they were like bigger ones. It's like, okay, we'll just use all that. And if anybody wants to use the house dice, just come up before the round and you can use it. And then every round, Aaron comes up, can I use your dice? And then every round, here's your dice. I'm gonna return them to you, but I'm gonna use them again every round. He's like, but it was like you had to be that way so that you can show your opponent, look, I'm using their
their
dice
dice, yeah,
every round instead of like just keep it. Like, no, I gotta go every round so that they know I'm using your dice so that there's no shenanigans going on.
yeah, yeah,
The worst ones I hated were the two ones where the bone dice where they were like
yeah,
they weren't actual, they were like protruding,
yeah.
the
They were
corners
like
were
actually
protruding.
bones,
Yeah,
like
and I
a.
was like, dude. And then the other one was there would be a small dice and a bigger dice.
Oh
They
yeah,
would
I
just roll
hate
both
that.
of them. We're like, oh, they would roll one. It would be like, oh, that's the roll inside and that. Like, oh man, we gotta stop doing that.
And then if you picked it up, right, to look at it, it would
Yep,
like shake it.
shake, yeah, or something. Yeah, I was like, oh man, come on, man. Like we got,
And
ugh.
it's funny too because even locally, we had a guy, Alex. He doesn't play anymore, but he was the judge when I very very first started playing in 2004. Um, he had football dice, so they were like the bone dice, but they were footballs. And I'm like, dude, you don't even like football, like what the fuck? And so he would roll them, and like they would just literally just roll, like they don't like
Oh,
tumble.
it
You know what I
doesn't
mean? I'm
stop.
like,
Yeah,
yeah, they
yeah.
just roll, and I'm like, what the? And
Oh, it would
uh,
like roll like a
like
four
a
ball.
yeah,
It would. Oh my god, that's stupid.
I'm like, this is so dumb.
Yeah. So yeah, we
Those
had to
those
do
used to
that.
bug
Yeah.
me. He used to bug me too because he would use Legos for his action tokens,
Oh my gosh. And then
and then
he
it's
would put
like
them
breaking them
together,
apart.
right?
Yes,
Yeah, I
I'm like,
think who Alex who? That sounds
Uh,
familiar because I remember somebody using the Legos and
what
he
the
would
heck
snap
was
them
his last
together
name?
to say this is a push. Yeah, 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 and he'd take them off.
Sanchez, Ramirez, something like
Yeah,
that. I don't know.
you're some generic Mexican last name.
Yeah, it really was though. I'm like, I don't even think he's on Facebook anymore, man. I don't know what happened to that guy.
I do remember that, man. I totally remember the Lego ones. I was like, okay, I
Just
guess, yeah.
bug me, dude. Oh my god. Anyway, so yeah, so Pat runs on top of running Majestics, he runs the Majestic circuit.
Yep.
If it's getting pretty popular, so if you haven't heard of it, I'd be pretty surprised. But
Yeah.
right now, everything obviously with the world being shut down is online, so we're doing it through Roll
Yeah, I know.
20. Um, so let me share. So you have the 300-point Bronze Age discussion page, right?
Yeah.
So let me share my screen.
And quick shout out to the Pacific Northwest guys, Corey and Brian. They're the ones that make they're the ones that make the pictures and
Yeah,
objects and everything.
they have a GitHub, right? Or
Really not, yeah. Like they've he makes them like that's for modern, but then he made like he's just making them for bronze.
that's cool. That's really cool. So here's it. This right here, you can see the screen, right?
Yep.
So this right here is the page if you want to discuss the format. Obviously, there's the Majestics page here. But if you want to discuss the format, this is the place to go. If you have questions or want to get more info about the
Yep.
format, as far, I mean, it has its own actual page. I guess I can bring that up. Was it Open
Open
Series?
series, yeah.
Open.
There it is. Oh, I think it's dot though. Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
right
one.
here. I just Google everything, dude. So here's the page. This is your hub, right? So this is the main
This is
page to
for yeah
find
for bronze, yeah.
anything. It's got articles. It's got teams, most played elements, and all that. So this is regular Bronze Age. So this Sunday we're doing Bronze Limited,
Yeah.
right?
The
So
second
that's
one.
it. That's the second one. So
Yeah.
that's a newer thing. Why don't you explain what that is?
It's basically the same as bronze, except we're adding three things to the ban list. So if you go to the ban list, scroll a little bit.
More
Um,
or
yeah. So if you look at the ban list, so this is the regular ban list, is all those like whatever 10 or 12, whatever. But
mhm.
we're adding resources. So so basically Book of the Skull and Orange Battery are redundant, so those would be gone, and it would be um, resources, ID cards, and no equipping during force construction. And then we
So
just
like entities,
yeah, entities.
um,
That's basically it. Anything that
special objects.
a special object's fine because
They're mostly beginning of the game, right?
they say starts the game,
Yeah.
and something like Atri, he's not equipping. He just has equipment on your
hmm
sideline.
hmm
So it's really only that because we're trying to. The reason why this came up was oh yeah, we're also taking out Black Swan because it doesn't matter anymore. Um, in when the future format when modern the post rotation comes, there's going to be basically no like extra game pieces from like off the board other than like let's say Jason, right? And then maybe some
I
shifting
think
focus,
so.
but there's going to be no
Yeah.
ID cards. There's going to be no no resource stuff like that. So this kind of mirrors that.
Yeah.
So basically,
Um,
it's really going to be quicker to set up. It's also easier if you're trying to get into bronze. That's one of the other reasons. Because the people that we've always one of the biggest entries is just like the sheer amount of stuff that you have to account for, set up, bring whatnot.
mm,
Which is also one of the things that attracts people because they like the team building aspect. So
right.
that's like that opens up a whole world. So those team builders just absolutely love it.
Right. So like if you've ever played a game and then it's like, oh, I've got to set up my power battery.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've got my relics. Now I've got my
Yeah,
beginning of the game.
yeah.
I got to choose who's on my ID cards. You
My
know,
entity,
my
you
entity,
have to
and
pick a power. Yeah,
yeah, it's a lot. It really is a lot.
it's just so much. It's just layers on layers and layers, and
Uh
also
huh.
also makes it harder to track during the game
Yeah.
because you're like, oh, I have super senses, reflexes, and purple shape change. Wait, what? I only see that, you know, and
Yeah.
With this, it's essentially just what you see, plus if anybody has like a pickup power or an equipment, that's it. But it's not going to be like how let's say Unimind was in regular bronze. He's just
Hmm.
loaded up with a decoy. He's got an entity, and then
Hmm.
he's got a
The
another
sideline
yeah,
figures.
just everything just loading up, loading up, loading up. I mean, obviously, there's still a lot to track because it's a older format. There's more equipment and more objects, relics, whatever. But at
Yeah.
least for the most part, everything is on the map. There's
Yeah.
very little off the map unless you're playing either Jason, Chameleon, or Shifting Focus guys, and maybe some sideline active guys. I don't know if you're going to be playing those, but
Yeah.
sideline active works too, like also Shark Shredder or stuff like that. But
Yeah.
it's minimal for now. And
Yeah.
this
There's a.
isn't going to take. It's not going to take place. It's just supplementing it for. I mean, it's a way different format and it's different skill set too. So
I. I
it should be
think.
easier for newer players to get in if they want to get into the format.
Right. I think the probably like the most diverse thing would be like the Uru Forge,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So it's like because it's
right,
from outside the game, so it's just like,
right.
oh, let me
You
just
just have it. Yeah,
I have a fucking tackle box of all this
yeah,
stuff I
yeah,
can bring in, you know.
yeah. If
So that'd be kind of crazy.
if that gets out of hand, then I guess we can make our own like little uh, restriction for that.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah. Nobody plays it, and nobody's played it since Dan. I don't think.
It's tough. Yeah. One of the reasons why he was able to do it is because he had a lot of protection from when he was playing with the Indigo battery. So
Indigo. Yeah.
and then the other one was a Sinestro battery. So he had two levels of protection
Hmm.
from just like dying before having to get what you want.
Yeah. Hmm.
And in limited, it's much harder because you don't have those layers of protection.
Right. Right.
So
And then yeah, it'll be interesting because like a lot of answers are ID cards, right?
yeah, yeah.
Like oh, I'm just gonna pack a bunch of Pulse Wave on my
And Green
team,
Arrow.
Green Arrow. That and there's obviously still stuff that works, like
Yeah,
um, things that teleport across the map. For example, Mojo,
yeah.
for example, he would still be decent. He's just not getting like that ID call in and then
Right.
warp back, but he can still like teleport and make an
Yeah.
attack.
Now they actually have to attack. Like you have to like
Yeah, yeah,
fight. If
yeah,
you go to
sure.
the discussion page and you go down a little bit, you can see what the 10 players were playing. Oh yeah, the congratulations, Brian. Yes, click that.
Yep, right.
Yeah, those are the 10 players and what they played. So it's way crazy. Look at all that. It's like I don't think there aren't two teams that are the same.
Let's see, Alyosha, Craven, and Triple H, Immortal Hulk, and Nighthawk Prime.
Yep.
I mean that. So like to me, that's the kind of like standard team for
Right.
this format, right? Nighthawk Prime plus Big Beater
Yep.
plus small support, right?
Yep. That's exactly what Steve played.
Black Glove Demon, Jason Wingard. Adam finally won two
Uh,
games.
he the round one,
Uh,
he won 200 to 194.
200.
So he
Wow,
was
so he
like,
squeaked it out.
yes, like really close. Like, oh my God, if they had more
Yeah.
time.
Let's see, Jose Luis Barragan, Weapon H, and
Yeah, it's
Monsters,
a
I
monster
guess.
theme with Weapon H. He has like Frankenstein and
Frankenstein and
Shredder,
some
stuff
other
like
stuff.
that. Yeah.
Michael Smith,
He had three
Mandarins,
Mandarins.
three Mandarins,
It's three Mandarins and
and a bunch.
Claire Finn, and then he has all the rings, but also the hand ATA. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, so for those who don't know, you sit next to a wall
Yep.
or blocking terrain, and then you
Yep.
can't be drawn line of fire too, right?
And yep. And so they all have the one ring that makes one blocking
Uh huh.
from the
Yeah,
Mandarin rings. So
and you pick two, right, at the
you
beginning of
pick
your
two,
turn.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Claire
So you
Finn
pick that
makes
one and then something else.
yeah, and then Claire Finn makes that Yafit that gives them all sidestep. So
I
there's
feel,
still
I feel
more power.
like I feel like that just loses to like shredders though, right?
Yes. But
Okay.
as you see, nobody was playing it.
Okay. Well, and that's funny too, because unlimited shredders were a staple, right?
Exactly. That's what I was mentioning to Jeff. I was like, man, Shredders is gonna be huge, and like nobody played it.
Well, Jeff plays shredders, but he's
Yeah,
obviously runs a stream too and all that
yeah,
stuff. So,
yeah,
uh, he's probably the biggest shredder player out here on the West Coast, I would
yeah,
say.
yeah, for sure.
Let's see here. Tony played Superman and with the Justice League theme
That's the three. It's the three shifting focus Superman.
and Atomica.
Yeah, it's that team.
Yeah, hey, that's Warren Jin's team.
Yeah, that's when he
Yeah,
played. I was like, oh my god, you're porting a team from 2016 to
yeah,
2020.
yeah.
Exactly, all of it. That's
It's
awesome.
better. It's better now though because you have the DC 15 that has the Leap Climb Quake
Yes,
Superman.
he had that on there too. Yep.
Yeah, that figure is actually good.
Yeah, I like that
Richard
too.
Richard playing Nick's Cosmic. So was that
Yeah,
double Nick Jason?
double. It was double Nick, double Dark Phoenix.
Oh, okay. Okay, I would have played double Nick Jason if I was gonna do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Remember that team?
Yep. Yeah. I played that in
Uh,
the finals one time.
that was your boy Chris's team from Sacramento.
Oh,
Actually,
that's so good.
actually, I
Yeah.
mean, other people played it, but he won with it. I remember.
Okay, okay. I was like, Chris, are you talking? Oh, I thought for a second you meant Chris Rowe because I know you also have a
Oh,
thing
that's your boy too, man.
against
Chris and Chris. You know what? If your name's Chris, don't talk to me, bro. Uh, let's see. Robert Gallagher, Masters of Evil, Thunderbolts.
Yeah,
Was
so
that
he
with the Baron
plays that.
Zemo?
Yeah, the Baron Zemo that makes both ones, and he plays like Ultron and Songbird.
So there's two that do that, right? There's two Baron Zemos that do that, or
Yeah,
is
he
there?
plays the one that's doing like this.
Yeah, the newer one.
Yeah,
And then Alyssa with Medusa's Overdrive. I'm
yeah.
guessing she played what's his face?
Agent 13, and of course Duke
Duke
Thomas.
Thomas. Yeah, that's his name.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, I saw in the Discord. I was in bed, but I was getting pings from Discord. And I saw Steve call the judge about his trait.
Oh yeah,
So I was like, oh, he must be playing Alyssa. That's funny.
and then
Yeah,
yeah,
that's cool. And then of course the winner,
yeah. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my god,
Anarchy
that is
Prime.
nuts.
Dude, that's a good team, man.
Yeah,
That's a good team. It's tough to hit, right? Anarchy's well, obviously Dark Phoenix and Groot are the easiest to take down, right?
yeah.
But you have Anarchy Prime, who makes the
The
field
bombs.
really hard to get through without taking damage. But he would be the softest figure outside of Magneto, Sinister, and Darwin.
Yeah,
And
yeah. He tries to protect them with the diplomat too because he has defend plus perplex,
yeah, and
and then
then
gamma bomb.
Gamma Bomb. You know,
So
you know what you don't see in this. So I looked at these teams the next day because I had to go to bed, but I was looking at the teams and I was like, I was really thinking about it. There's a lot of really cool stuff
yeah,
that I think a lot of well, there's a lot of cool stuff. Period, but I think there's a lot of really cool stuff that people don't really explore, um,
yeah,
because they don't know. Because like a lot of these players either didn't play when it was
yeah,
like popular,
yeah.
or like they started at the tail end of it, right?
Right.
Like Steve, like Mr. Nobody, for example. Okay,
Yes. Oh
so
god, he's so
what
good in
would
this
Mr.
format.
Nobody do against Brian's team? It would wreck that team,
Oh
right?
yeah, we're taking all
I'm gonna put
three
your
with
gamma
limbs.
bomb, and I'm just gonna put it over there on your side of
So
the map.
like I so bad want. I've been saying this for a long time now. I want Mr. Scott and Mr. Nobody on the same team
Mr. Scott.
because Mr. Scott, it's a free action to remove an object, and he gets an extra perplex. Not that
One
one.
of
It's
oh,
not that one. The other
this
one.
one.
Yep. Look at this one.
Let's see. Choose an object in Mr. Scott square or an adjacent square. Remove it from the game and give him a salvage parts token. Perplex. Remove any number of salvage parts tokens. You can use perplex an additional number of times. So that would just like score you the object, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
But
that's pretty good.
yeah, that's huge because it messes up a lot of their stuff, and
You,
you get additional perplexes.
you know who does similar but is cheaper is Matter Eater Lad.
Yes, he's another one too.
Yeah. So
It's
for
just
those who
that.
don't, this is old
Yep.
school.
It's funny. It's I think yeah. Um, I think I told Jeff or
This
I
is
told somebody about this.
this is literally the earliest set in bronze.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right. So Matter Eater, I was looking at this. I was looking at Mr. Nobody and Matter Eater actually. Um, so Matter Eaton, give Matter Eater Lad a free action and destroy an adjacent wall, adjacent square blocking terrain, or remove an object in his square or an adjacent square from the game. So for 35 points,
Yep.
so essentially for 90 points because Mr. Nobody's 55,
55. Yeah.
then you can just remove objects from the game. But here's the key part about this. Oh, look, there's a team.
I missed it. I wasn't paying attention.
It was my team from last time.
Oh, okay, you're like, go look there.
So Matter Eater Lad, right? Oh wait, let me start this over. So Matter Eater Lad, and I think I could be mistaken. Yes, they're both politicians. So check this out. Guess who else is a politician?
Oh wait. Yeah, take that off. Oh yeah, there you go. You want to play the hate team? He's up there, baby.
Politician. Ah, damn. You know who else is a politician? Triple H. There's a lot of good politicians, man.
There's a lot, yeah.
Look at this.
But
yeah, this team, this right here, 155, that's a lot of disruption. That's a lot of disruption. Yep. And then, I was just messing around. You can look at the stuff. Shield Diplomat, exactly Aim Blue, Green Goblin. Oh, look at this. Some enforcers. Those are the rares.
There's your guys, man.
I love the enforcers, though, man. Those are my guys.
Oh, yeah, I know. Me too.
There's a lot of good, man. There's a lot of good ones. Chaos War, Iron Man. I was trying to see if
side. Is you already go to the DC side?
No, we'll go to DC. DC's gonna have more, I think. Perez Ricard.
I'm sure there's got to be like a bigger guy that you can choose, right?
Elseworld Superman, but he's a lot of points.
He's too much. I feel like, yeah, that's the one I was looking. He's too much though. There he is. Him.
Green Lantern.
Yeah, but he's too many points. But yeah, that was that was one. He was like one of the best ones to choose for that. For Nighthawk.
Oh, because look.
Oh.
Boom.
Hey, remember when you played? Remember when we opened the boosters and you're like, "I'm playing Lex, whatever you guys play."
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I got this. And then I rolled the double sixes to break away from Alan with plasticity.
I remember too when we're like, "You're gonna play Ultraman? Are you sure?" Yeah, Ultraman. I don't know about Ultraman.
Yeah, I don't think that's the best play, Clay.
Like,
but
Master Pandemonium is really good.
Yeah. Yeah, it is what it is, man. Yeah, like look, Lex Luthor though, man. Look at that. Now you can't. You have to pulse wave him, which
But he has to attack though.
No, well, yeah, I guess.
How are you gonna win? He has to attack.
Yeah, he can attack. You just wait till the end of the game and attack.
Yeah, he's one of the ones that's really hurt without the IDs.
True. Anyways, that's some fun stuff.
I'm sure there's more that are like we just haven't even looked at it. But
yeah,
one of the other things too is well, at least for limited, this is only the second event, so this is like people still, it's gonna be a while before the metagame is like really defined.
Sure.
But for sure, Immortal Hulk, Nighthawk, like Phoenix, like the Retaliators, guys like that. I think those are gonna be the staples, and then Shredders. Should be at the very least.
What about X-Men? Like a Swarm X-Men? You don't think that could?
Do you think it matters that they can't use the IDs anymore because the headmasters can't use them?
I mean, it matters to a degree, I guess. But like with what's her face? The 25-point transporter.
Oh
no.
Oh, you mean with her, right? Yeah. But with what would be your attackers, like just Wolverine?
Wolverine, Cyclops, probably.
I don't know if Cyclops.
That's a lot of free attacks. Yeah, you keep Cyclops in the back.
Yeah, because he'll die.
Yeah.
But Green Arrow with like Tom Kerr's team that he played at the Rock Cup.
Right. Obviously, that's that
would be really good. Also.
But that played a lot of IDs too. That was pretty ID heavy.
Yeah, but because he has the Penguin and Green Arrow, he can just circumvent that by just having them just attack.
True.
Also, this is gonna be a shameless plug, but if people want to see what they were playing back in the day, we have them all on the site.
So that's another thing I wanted to talk about. Actually, was how your site is kind of like the historical site of the game, man. I mean, HC Realms, you can find stuff on Realms, right? But it's a lot of like shit posting.
Oh yeah. And everything's
Yeah.
archived too. Like it's hard to
Yeah.
look for them.
Yeah. So it's funny because like Zach Strong is
Oh
a
yeah, he is like all
big
in.
time student of the game. I would go out there to say um he is now what Dan was like 3 years ago.
Yes, like
Because Dan was very studious of the
yes,
game.
yes, learning everything possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
He Zach was messaging me. He was like, I hope I'm not bothering you
That's
when
a
I do this.
compliment, by the way. I
Yeah, he's
don't
like, I don't, yeah,
I don't
he's like,
want to I don't want no confusion about that.
yeah, he's like, I hope I'm not bothering you with all of these questions and stuff. And I was like, no, dude, like the fact that you are interested in stuff like that, that
Yeah.
gives me, that's even more. I'm gonna like, I'll stop everything just to answer that
Yeah, I'll
because,
stop everything
like,
I'm doing.
yeah, because like he's the only one that wants to know about. Tell me about Alex
Yeah.
Avila. Tell me about,
Yeah.
no, tell me about Jake.
Yeah.
Tell me about this. I want to know how did this work back then, and like he'll link me to a video he's watching, and so what happened?
Mhm.
Like I'm like, wow, that's awesome. You know, it's
Yeah.
like it's almost like someone should do like a detail, like the Kobe detail, but for like clicks games,
Yeah.
from the old videos.
Oh,
And he
that'd be
was watching
fun.
stuff from
That'd be
like,
fun.
yeah, he was watching the oh, dude, I showed him. I said, hey, you want to see you want to see some? So I linked him to the 2010 World Championship with
Uh-huh.
George versus Allen.
Oh my
That's
god.
the first turn, first round.
Don't I feel so bad for Alan, man.
Oh, dude, you know
You know
George
who
was.
did that? The most recent that's a big name was Edward. Remember Edward at the Rock Cup? He went all in with his Hawkeye team. And I'm going crazy.
Oh,
I'm going crazy on the keyboard. I'm like, he
oh, wait,
forgot.
when
He forgot.
this is when I was judging, right?
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
forgot.
Oh,
He
yeah,
forgot. He forgot. Because everybody's going crazy. Like, what is he doing? I'm like, he forgot first round.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then, fuck, who was he playing?
He was playing Tyler.
Oh, yeah.
It was a shredder. It was the monster. It was
And,
the
and
shredder.
Tyler played it cool. He just let him go and then was like, I have immunity.
Yeah, he's like, you can't attack them, but you can attack these guys. He's like, but I can't see them. Oh, well, sorry. Yeah, yeah, I remember that. Oh, yeah, that was rough. But George was gifted two things like that. Well, I don't know, gifted, but like he took advantage of the first round from Allen, and then
Yeah.
also the one against Kenny, where Kenny
Oh,
miscounted.
Kenny miscounted by one square.
Yeah, and then you can see that was also on video.
One square.
Yeah. And then he's
Dude,
like, "Take 7, you're dead."
I tell Kenny all the time. I was like, dude, that was your year. That was your one shot. Like your one best chance.
Oh man, that
Because
was
nobody was equipped to beat that team.
no. It had to, yeah, it had to be him messing up because everybody was using hypercharge or running shot, and like what nobody had improved targeting, like because but that was before they actually have improved targeting, right? You needed to actually have
It was sharpshooter, and then like a trait or something.
Yes, or what you call it, the Superman team ability or the
Ultimates.
Avengers Initiative, right?
Was
that, no, that was
it was Avengers Initiative. Yeah, it was Avengers Initiative. You're right.
You would have to do like those were the only two things that you possibly could have to even get, and nobody was running that, right? Yeah, yeah. So
sorry, Kenny. Love you, buddy.
Dude, that was so yeah. So Zach was watching that, and just thinking about it right now. That's George was in he was like the recipient on both of those.
Yeah, that's fun. That's why he's the GOAT, man.
They just misplay.
Yeah. Let's. It's funny too. Like he sent me a screenshot of my game versus Rob, in the first regional that I won. The first time I won a regional, I was playing Rob Bersel in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
The Super Scroll versus
the Jason brother Voodoo Proxima Spear.
Proxima, yeah.
Spear. Proxima.
Yeah. Oh man, that was a game, dude. I told him, I was like, dude, watch this game. Like, it's a hell of a game. And like I remember it vividly. It was such a game because, and not tooting my own horn. It was like I would say this about anybody, but like I was down. Rob spent, and he told me after the fact. He goes, I spent all night coming up with a strategy, and I didn't see it coming when he mind controlled my Super Scroll and picked 4 powers.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I was just, he tilted me for a second. I'm like, fuck, what do I do? I'm like, well, I can't not pick powers, right?
Yeah.
Because then I definitely lose. So fuck it, I'm just gonna take damage and pick 4. So
just keep going.
4 more. Just keep going. And then what Rob didn't see was I pushed the Star Labs scientist
support.
to support.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And
Yeah,
that support role got me back in the game and won it for me.
that was on our that was on the stream, or that was on the recording. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I remember in like the top 8 or top 16 before he got in, he had a really close game against Roland,
Yeah.
and Roland was playing like a High Father Despo team with something.
It was High Father Despo.
Something. But it was a pretty good. It's pretty good. It was a good game.
I remember because that was like the one team I didn't want to play against.
Yeah, because he
But
stops scroll.
yeah, I think my plan for that was just to Brother Voodoo though.
Yeah, yeah. If you have a secondary guy like that, it's not.
Yeah,
It's
Brother
not.
Voodoo is so good. What about Brother Voodoo? Nobody plays him.
Well, if somebody plays Nighthawk, he's useless.
True.
So if if there aren't many Nighthawks, then yeah, Brother Voodoo's good. But
We only saw
if
one, right?
there's only one, but that's also just week one.
It's true.
So we'll see, right? Like if let's say there's two more next week and one of them wins, it's going to be harder to play Brother Voodoo because then they're like, oh, maybe I should just keep playing Nighthawk.
Yeah. What about let's talk about some primes, some old school primes, because I think
Well,
right now like
two of them were being played, which was awesome. Like Anarchy and
yeah,
Alyosha, which is awesome.
and Nighthawk.
No,
Three.
but I mean,
Oh, other
in the finals, like we know Nighthawk is he's a known thing, but nobody plays Anarchy or Alyosha, like very little.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool to see both of them there.
Alyosha was big with Book of the Skulls, so
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
in his time.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about that too. We were talking earlier about equipments. You mentioned E-Tree, right?
Yep.
So there's like Maestro, I think.
Maestro's one.
And then Black Witch Prime.
She brings in relics,
She
right?
brings 3 relics.
Is it a power action or something?
Let's look it up. Black Witch.
She's also like a crap load of points.
Times Prime. Dumbass. Yeah, she has a lot of points, 170. So after objects are placed, Black Witch may exchange any standard objects that are 5 or more squares from her starting area with distinct relics from outside the game, totaling no more than 20 points. So you can basically, if you're playing regular objects, you can just swap them for relics.
Yeah.
So thinking about it, that kind of makes up for some of her point value, I guess, because you're saving on those points.
Right. Yeah. But that also means that you're gonna have to play. You're most likely gonna have to play.
Yeah.
Split lip, right? So it kind of makes up. Yeah. So like the 20 points, they kind of even each other up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
It could be there are stuff. I mean, she's got a lot of stuff, right? I mean, she's a mystics person, and doesn't she like turn into White Witch or something?
White Witch turns into her, I believe. Yeah. White Witch is another good piece that I think people maybe don't know about. I know like locally we played a game, and it was just like DC only or something like that. I don't know. It's one of the monthly OP things, and I brought out White Witch with Tim Hunter, and so White Witch has the thing where you take a power action and what is it? You give her a power action, and opposing characters' combat values can't be modified until your next turn, or you give her a free action, and each opposing character can't be given more than one free action until your next turn. Yeah. So the trick is, so with White Witch, you go, okay, I'll give her a power action. You can't modify your combat values. Tim Hunter has a thing where if he's adjacent to a mystical character, right? But she has to have an action token. So you copy it. So you give her the power action, then you copy it, but you do the free with him. Next turn you copy it again. You do the power action with him and the free with her. And so every turn you're actually getting both effects.
Nice.
So that's a little trick that
there you go. Just learn something.
There's a lot of little things in, like I said, there's a lot. It's interesting to me because I get all these newer players and it's their fresh take on the format. And for me, I want to immediately go because I still have a garage full of all of this stuff.
I know.
You know what I mean? And I'm just like, oh man, I'm gonna go get these figures out right now. You know,
and I remember, and that's why like where Tony got that team from.
Yeah, Warren's.
That's exactly that list. You know. And if someone goes back to see the older ones, you'll see, Super Skrull, Brother Voodoo.
He plays the ATA, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
team exactly that. It's just he added the Elseworlds guys. So
Okay, yeah, which
that's really cool.
totally
And
makes sense.
in his, and I know he went 1 and 2. He destroyed Richard. Just
That's
destroyed
funny.
him, dude.
Richard likes
Uh,
to talk shit too, so
yeah,
that's
he
what's
does.
funny
Dude,
about
he
it.
destroyed him, and then but the other, I don't know. I know that he lost to Brian in round 1, but I don't know how close it was. I do
Yeah.
know that the bomb hit him at least once, like one of Anarchy's.
Mhm.
So I don't know if
So,
like multiple, because like if he hits like all of those,
yeah,
then the Supermans are just gonna like go down.
yeah. The team's
They're,
super reliant on staying on top click, right?
yeah,
Because it's all like 20 defense,
yeah.
whatever. Because
First
it's
two clicks, I think their first 2 clicks are basically the same.
yeah, because it's like 19 defend plus, and then you get a plus one,
Yeah,
right? And then
yeah,
so Atomika's a 20, 21 from range because she's tiny,
yeah. Well,
and then
they're all gonna be 21 or 22, all of them,
yeah,
because he has 3 of them, and the ATA, if they have Indom, then they get additional one.
yeah,
So for the most part, if anybody's attacking them that has Indom, geez,
yeah. It's crazy.
yeah.
It's a fun team, man. Fun. So yeah, like I wanted to have you on because I was talking with Zach, and I'm super interested in the limited format. So I
I
want to
know.
give you a chance to
Yeah,
talk
I
about
just
it.
remember you're like, why don't I remember you posting in like the rock things like, when is limited coming back, or when is the limited season gonna start? And then when he took it off, you're like, oh, I'm really sad that limited's gone.
Yeah, it's my favorite format, man. Because to me, it goes back to like when I started playing, right? And it's
Where
just for
everything's
the
on the
most,
board.
yeah, it's on the board. There's some sideline stuff like you mentioned earlier, but it's like there's less room for error. I feel like, um,
Right.
because you really have to be diligent with where you're placing stuff,
Hmm.
or your order of actions, even like every choice matters. Your
Yeah.
your perplexes. So a lot of times this standard is like, oh, perplex attack, right? Because like I'm gonna hit.
Yeah.
But in this format, you do have to kind of more so than other formats because you can't just later call in an ID card to get you back
Right.
in the game. You have to
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
be like, okay, do I really need to hit this attack more, or do I need to worry about if I miss? Do
You
I
know.
need to stay safe?
It's one thing about like with this format versus just regular format is in regular bronze, if you played Peace Machine and someone plays Haha Joker, they're both at 50. They function exactly the same. They're
Mm.
both gonna call in a Cyclops and hit somebody.
Yeah,
But if in this format, when you play both of them, they're gonna function completely different because they actually have to like
attack.
attack and stuff. Like
Mhm.
Peace Machine will no longer be that call in battery guy to do whatever. Joker
Right.
can no longer be that. A Joker actually has to like
Mm.
attack. He's gonna be more like a tie up piece, maybe
Yeah.
hit little guys here and there and just soak up damage. And Peace Machine will now just have to be just like a real support guy that's just like sidestepping, TKing, and outwitting, as
Yeah.
opposed to I'm gonna run up there because next turn I'm gonna call in Cyclops and shoot you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's another.
Even the constructs, right? The constructs
Yeah,
have to attack. They have to start
yeah.
attacking.
They actually have to. Yeah, they actually have to do stuff. It's funny watching these retaliators. It's like way more. The prioritization of killing the retaliators is like way higher now
Oh
because you
yeah.
can't just poof a guy.
No, you have to like actually deal with what's on the
Yeah,
board.
you actually have to fight, like fight them.
And the scary thing is if you miss, they get to
Here they
retaliate.
come. Yeah. Oh my God. So
So
it's very interesting to see how like how it's gonna evolve if because if you saw Brian's team, he had what, like he
he
had a
had
Groot,
Dark
Dark
Phoenix
Phoenix,
and
and
Groot.
it was just those two.
Yeah, and then because he had Big Tony, Shield
Oh yeah.
Diplomat, and
Okay.
Darwin.
So we'll see if there's gonna be more spamming retaliators, and then see if like
What?
they're gonna come and retaliate, or I just be like, you know what, my retaliators are gonna die. I'm just not gonna play them.
Yeah,
You
and
know.
then you know what? There's some. your map list is the same, right?
Everything's the same, yeah.
So is there anything like Crossfire Canyon on the map list? I can't think of anything that
Like
doesn't
what?
have blocking, that has no blocking.
That has 0 blocking.
Yeah.
Um, Light Cycle. Well,
Okay.
okay, Light Cycle does have it, but it's only on the sides. That's it. There's none in the
Okay.
middle.
So, because I was thinking about like, was it the Pacific Northwest guys that they were playing the Magneto with Jakeem, right? For the X-Men
Oh,
Theme Team +2.
yeah. So yeah, the Flashpoint would be able to do it. Or not Flashpoint, the Light Cycle. I'm trying to
No,
think.
because Magneto can still break that at the beginning of the game, and then, like on your first turn,
Yeah, that's what I'm
and
saying. He
then
could still
still,
he could still
he'll
hit it.
still, yeah,
I don't think there's any that just doesn't have it at all.
yeah.
I don't think.
And,
Trying to
and
think.
then and then what's also interesting is I think it would be really fun. Maybe
Unless
not.
Toon World, hold on. Unless Toon World doesn't have it, I don't know.
No, Toon World does.
Okay.
Toon World does. I was thinking about too, like, so JLU is not a go yet, right? In this format,
May 1st it will be.
May 1st will be okay. So
So the
I,
following, so like
9 days.
Sunday.
So 9 days from now.
Yeah. So after this Sunday, and then the next Sunday will be new. So that Sunday will be awesome.
So I think come that event, you actually might see the bug played because you can get
Dude.
all these 10-point Justice Leaguers for a really high theme. Because
They all have a enhancement for the bug.
yeah, and because the reason that's relevant is because you do actually have one map on your map list
Oh yeah.
that kills the bug,
You can't place. You can't place it at all.
the mental plane.
You can't place it at all.
I don't think so. No, because you looked at my team last week on your podcast, um, and it was kind of like you went over everything, you got everything correct except for you didn't go over the maps because the maps
Oh, I didn't.
were actually carefully chosen for once. I normally don't do that.
Yeah, usually people don't because the reason why I don't discuss if they have that is because you're not theme and you can't really rely on that.
Yeah, that's true.
If you were like a +11, then we talk about it. Or +9 or +8
But
or
most
something.
but most games they're like +3 +4 only. So I mean that's
Still
still
higher.
likely.
It's still like
Yeah,
80,
yeah,
90% they're
exactly.
gonna win.
I'm trying to see if I can find the
Mental plane, right?
mental plane. Yeah, so it's an older one.
On actually realms. Uh, if you look at the
Here,
map thing on
I got
realms,
it.
yeah,
The mental plane. Cause bug is a 3x6, right?
yeah.
So on the there's only one spot that you can place it. Yeah, there's one spot, but still, he has to take that side.
Yeah, better than it dying.
Yeah, that's true.
Then that means he's gonna have to spend time tunneling.
Yeah, it's interesting. I still think like because you could play like a lot of these 10-point Justice Leaguers, and
Dr.
the
Fate.
bug's actually tough to kill.
Yeah.
He's tough to kill. I know Zach has been wanting to play it. Um,
Yeah, he played it once.
yeah, I don't know how did you do that? Man?
He was in the 2-0 table and he lost to Richard
Oh,
because it was funny because so Richard only plays. You can take for Richard, you could take the pictures off of everything. Everything for him is just a number,
uh-huh.
and hours and words. So
Yeah.
when we're doing like like flavored jokes and stuff, and we're just like, oh my gosh, Undertaker's about to tombstone the bug.
Yeah.
And so we're like, oh dude, this is gonna be funny how you're gonna tombstone that vehicle. And Rich is like, what are you talking about? He's like, Undertaker, Undertaker's like, no. He's like completely
Yeah.
just no
Yeah.
ideas. We're like, and we're like, oh man, he just like killed it. We're like, all right. And then we come back, Zach's like, yeah, so he tombstoned me like 3 times. We're like, dang it, dude, that was the perfect time. We could have made some comments because it was really funny to visualize like Undertaker tombstoning a bug.
Just picking up a big ass.
Yeah, dude, so like that's part of the fun about when you play
Yeah.
stuff like
For
this.
hero
Like,
clips,
oh, so
right? Yeah.
what's the visual here?
Yeah.
But yeah, with ID cards and like a green arrow call in,
Mhm.
the bug dies really fast. But yeah, in this format where you actually have to play green arrow,
You have to fight him.
you have to fight that thing, and dude, that thing is tough, man.
Yeah. or else you're gonna eat like all these 10-point Doctor Stranges or
Yeah,
something. You know what I mean? It's
or
like,
the Doctor Face, and then you take Mystics.
or yeah, yeah. Have fun with that. It'd be fun, man. So let's see. We got some questions to get to.
Okay.
Um, so speaking of Zach, he says, "What do you think is the worst thing about the rotation this year?" Stay safe, homies.
The worst thing
The worst thing about rotation this year
that um
that is happening
I,
when the world is shut off.
yeah, I guess it's like it doesn't matter. That sucks because it's like whatever. Because if everybody's doing it online and we can't do anything in person, does it matter?
Not
Because
really.
everyone's just doing post rotation anyway, so who cares?
Yeah, post rotation or Bronze Age, right?
Well, but I guess my selfish reasons, there's gonna be no more Bill, even though nobody really played it that much, but there's no more Bill. And
That makes me sad too.
yeah,
Bill's my boy.
I know. I remember you're like, what about that? I'm like, oh, that's a good one. Okay, that'll go number 3 below Silver Surfer and Doctor Doom.
It's funny.
Because I'm like, I know they're not gonna say yes to this. So Bill, number 2.
Yeah. Um, I guess if I had to pick like something like early rotations kind of suck, you know? And so they're already like early rotating some stuff.
Yeah.
And then like
Yeah.
the shutdown happens and then it's like, oh, so it's, it's
Yeah.
February, March.
Yeah,
Let's
whatever.
just yeah, whatever. So it kind of sucks not seeing
But
stuff like that.
I think it's good. Look, all the spamming retails are gone
Yeah.
because there's
Like
no more. Yeah, there's no
Groot's a
more
big
10.
one.
Yeah, there's no more 10, 20 point guys you could just spam. There's no more IDs. Oh my god, I'm so glad now they can, like, coming from the guy who played Quinjet. I'm just so glad that look, I would have been fine with IDs had they kept them the same because they were
Beginning of the
balanced.
turn. Beginning of the
They
turn
were
kind of
balanced, and you have to have no action tokens.
yeah.
That's so, like, if they just ported that over, and if they worded it where your first action that you take has to be
Yeah.
the call in as
It,
opposed to the beginning of the turn.
yeah. If you've taken any other costed
Yeah,
actions.
right. Yes, it's or something like that, right? Yeah, that would have
Yeah.
been. Oh my god, you know how, like, you know how easy that was to just say that if you haven't taken other costed actions.
Yeah.
Then it would have been, then it would have been done.
They're the
Then
same.
I
Yeah.
think they don't have to do they don't have to do shit about.
Yeah, because you can still
Balance
do
stuff.
like your Jean Grey free TK type
Yeah.
stuff,
So all
whatever.
the
All
lead-in
of that
turn
shit
stuff,
still
yeah,
works.
all that's the same, and then they don't have to overhaul the rules. They just say, look, this is all we're adding to it because we're doing
Yeah.
phases. So here's what it says now. If you haven't taken a costed action, boom. And if they still had the thing that said they have to, if they take a no costed action and they had no action tokens,
Yeah.
I think it would have been fine, perfectly fine. But I mean, obviously they wanted to make it even more simple.
Yeah.
But to me, that would have been pretty simple. But is that your son, daughter?
Yeah, as my son. he's
Pokemon
asking.
champ.
Oh,
Champ, huh?
Pokemon Champ. Yeah, that's my boy. So Pokemon canceled all their events for the year. But what they
Nice.
did was they rolling over his points to next year.
Okay.
So he's essentially already qualified for the 2021 World Championship.
Oh, nice. So
So
when
yeah,
when they like, okay, let's say they open it up and like, okay, we can play again. How's it gonna be? Like, are we gonna be? They gonna be playing like you're over there and I'm over here? Like, how's that gonna work?
I don't know.
Because you're like right here when you're playing
Yeah,
them,
yeah.
and they're even like,
I know they took because so the rules were handshake before, handshake
oh
after.
god, now
That was
it's,
the rule, so they took that out.
oh my gosh,
They
dude.
already
See,
that already are like no more handshake
I
rules.
don't like, man. I really, okay. So for me, it's got to be vaccine or bust, because if there's a vaccine, then we don't have to worry about that shit. They'll just shoot, psh, you're good.
Yeah.
But until then, man, everyone's just gonna be like,
So it's kind of crazy, right? So like a little bit of personal history for me. My dad had polio.
oh, okay,
So like that's something we vaccinate for, right? And even
yeah,
like then there was a vaccine, right? But
mm-hmm,
like my dad is his parents were migrant farm workers,
mm-hmm,
and so
yeah,
they didn't get it. They're poor. My dad didn't even speak English till second grade.
right, right,
So like he got polio and like that was crazy then, you know what I mean?
But did he was he able to get vaccinated?
Well, he doesn't have to now. He
Oh,
has it.
oh, you can't even if you so if like you can't like if you get it you can't just like
No, so
take
a
a shot and you'll
vaccine,
be good.
so the vaccine like kind of prevents you, like it has like that. It gives
Oh,
you the antibodies. It gives you like a weaker version, right? So then your body builds the antibodies, so you kind of have like an immunity to it. So he got the immunity to it the rough way, right? He actually got the virus. So, but the thing is too, so
so
like,
like is he can he still walk and stuff?
so he can walk. One of his legs
Smaller
is
than the other, right?
smaller than the other one,
Yeah, I
and
know that.
it's about like this much shorter too.
Right.
And so his one leg is about as big as my arm. Um, and then
Dude,
his
that's a
other legs.
serious pimp walk right there.
Yeah, no, that they call him Chester because there was a show and they had a guy named Chester and he kind of like walked like with a gimp or whatever, and so that's like everybody says, because where I'm from a small town, and they'll say, oh, you're Cantu, right? I say yeah, and they say, oh, whose boy are you, right? That's always the thing. Whose boy are you? And I say Juan's, and they say Juan, and I say Chester. Oh,
Chester.
Chester. And so everybody knows him as Chester. That's his age, right? So, and even my cousins, Uncle Chester.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it's
that's
funny.
fun.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
so talking about that, so you're talking about the vaccine or bust, right? So, and this relates to clicks too, right? Because
Yeah,
when you're playing
because we're
clicks, you're
playing in
across
front
the
of it.
table.
Yeah.
So what's scary is the long term stuff, right? So we don't even know what long term stuff this will do, right? Like if I get, let's say I get sick with it, which most of us will get this disease at some point, right? Whether it's now, whether it's next year, whatever. Um, let's say I get sick, I get better, but let's say I got really sick, where like I had to be hospitalized. So a lot of this is like permanently scars your
Scarring.
lungs
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff
probably
like
true.
that.
If you have
And,
it really bad.
yeah, and so like talking about like my dad, so this is why like what's scary about polio was that it would either kill you or seriously like disable you, right? So now that my dad's getting older, he has muscular dystrophy where he has no lumbar muscle. It's gone. It deteriorated, and all of his muscles are going away. Yeah, because of his polio. So on top of everything else already that he struggled with, now he has this, and
Jeez.
that's something that they didn't know would happen, back then. And so we have no way to do these long-term studies. So even giving a vaccine, so there's this big rush on a vaccine, right?
Mm.
They're saying a year, and that's never been done before. Well, the reason that's
Yeah.
never been done before is because they take 8 years usually to study a vaccine and its long-term effects,
Yeah.
you know. And then the same thing with kids. So we know kids get infected, but they generally don't get really sick from it.
Yeah.
But we don't know what it will do to them
Like
later on
later,
in
right?
their
Like
life.
10 years later or
So,
something.
yeah, my dad got polio when he was like 4.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind of
Yeah.
crazy, man.
Yeah. I mean, but this like, man, it can't go on like this because
Oh,
like where everyone, it's gonna, dude, it's really gonna turn into like in a dystopian future like now
yeah, yeah.
where
So,
it's so
so my
weird that
friend,
like you have to walk out like this.
yeah, I've got mine. Yeah,
That's like a freaking movie. Like when you have to, oh, make sure you wear all your hazmat suit before you go out and get groceries. You're like, wait, what movie is that? I know I've seen that before.
yeah.
It's like, shh.
Dude, and it's funny too, because like, so part of the reason, some things I haven't been putting out a lot of podcasts, dude. I've been spending like 5 or 6 hours a day doing classwork. It's not even homework anymore. It's classwork with my son. So I'm
Mm,
still working. I go to work. I get off. I come home. I gotta do whatever normal dad stuff I gotta do, or husband or whatever, and then I gotta be a teacher on top of
yeah,
that. I don't have
yeah,
time to do anything.
yeah,
It's
dude. It's so different, man. They just this, it's just I was just thinking, because when I go out and I drop off the mail for
yeah,
the packages,
yeah,
everyone's standing like.
yeah.
Like
They're
holy
scared of
crap,
you. You
like
do
look, and
this.
everybody's like in their full whatever, and you're just standing like 6 to 10 feet away from them, and everybody's holding their mail, and you're going in, and it's like Jesus, um, you know, if this is the norm, no one's gonna know what people look like
Yeah,
because everyone's just gonna have this.
yeah. You
It's
have to
like
already know the person.
Yeah, and you can't. So you won't be able to tell if they're smiling or whatever because they're all covered up.
Well, and people are already socially dysfunctional, right? Because everything
Yeah.
is like on the apps now.
Hmm.
Like even dating is on an app,
Yeah.
right? So like you're my age, so at some point you had to talk to a girl and
Yeah.
actually ask her out, right?
And now it's gonna be like this. Hey, what's up?
Yeah, what's
You
up?
know, and have you seen Boondocks? Do you remember Boondocks?
The
It's a
cartoon, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, there's a
I didn't watch a lot of it
okay,
though.
so
I've only
so
seen
one of
clips.
the two like these white gangsters, it's
Uh-huh.
Charlie Murphy and Samuel L. Jackson. They're the voices.
Okay. Yeah.
And Charlie Murphy, they came back from they both did the tour in Iraq. And
Uh-huh.
then one of the things was like, the kids are asking like, how was it? And he's like, oh man, there's a lot of beautiful women over there, but they all got the mask and shit. And he's like, you can look at the eyes and they could be beautiful, but underneath it could be a tragedy.
Oh my
that's
God.
that's what I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's totally like what it's gonna be if you
But
can't like.
but but I was actually thinking about this today. I was doing some yard work um before we got on here, and I was like thinking about I was for whatever reason or Origins popped in my head. Maybe it's because it's next month or in June, but it popped into my head, and I was thinking, it's like, because I was wearing a mask, right? I was wearing a mask to do yard work
Mhm.
because I have really bad allergies. So if I don't, I'm dead. I'm dying, right? And so like I'm wearing the mask, and I'm like already thinking, I'm like, damn, dude, I wonder how many people at Origins are gonna be wearing a mask. Like when it like not this year, right? Origins got canceled, but next year,
Yeah,
I'm like,
well,
I
they're
know for
they're
me
all
personally, I'm gonna go because there's already con crud that goes around, right? Like
yeah.
there's every year somebody gets sick.
Dude, it's not gonna be that much different. They're already cosplaying as like fucking Naruto and like all that shit, right?
That's
They're all
true.
like this,
That's true.
whatever.
But like for
So
me, like I'm a handshake guy. You know, I'm a
yeah,
handshake.
exactly.
I'm a handshake. But for me, I'm gonna be like fist bump,
Yeah, that's
sanitize,
it. Everything.
wearing my mask. You know, like I don't
Like,
know, man. It's weird.
oh,
The elbows. Have you seen
oh
the foot
god,
one?
it's gonna be
The
so
Chinese foot one or whatever
nah,
they
it's gonna
do?
be dumb, dude. It's gonna be so dumb. Oh my god, it's gonna be rough.
It's crazy. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's see. We got another question. This one's from David Cologne, aka Mr. Click. So,
Hey, did you see his new his avatar logo? It looks good. I like that
it looks
somebody.
cool. Yeah, I like that. Like a little cartoon he's doing.
It's pretty good, Dave.
He says, "Do you think WizKids should push up the post?" He says post rotation. I think he means just rotation, right? Like push it back. I think
Yeah.
he means what rise and
Push
then
back further, or just like do it now.
I don't know. I don't.
Well, okay.
It could be either one. So either
Either
way,
way, it
right?
doesn't matter because we can't play.
Yeah.
And anything that's the online whatever, we're by like the rock stuff is already legal now. For
Yeah.
us, it's gonna be next week.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And then he says, what rising clicks will see the most play post rotation?
For modern,
I
yeah. I mean, okay. So for
yes,
modern, I feel like it's just gonna be like the not the point click, but like the easy mode. PJ
uh-huh.
wrote an article on this.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Let's see.
It will be Amazo.
Oh yeah, the common, right?
Yeah. I mean, you can play multiples of them. You can play him at the high point. You can play him at the low point.
Is this a
However
paid
many
article?
he's got good keywords because he's a robot and he goes well with the Trisentinel and Magneto and the construct. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, he's hard to kill. You can pick powers. He has team up cards. Like easy to get.
Primer post rotation metagame by PJ Boland.
Yeah.
So check it out. MajesticCCG.com/apex-insiders.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
good. It's a lot of that stuff. A lot
I'll
of
go
stuff
check
we
it out.
already know. Like we know that Tri Sentinel and Dark Phoenix are going to be played, right? Because
Right. They're
those
already
are
playing.
going to be the premier retaliators.
Yep.
And to a lesser extent, like Iceman and Storm, I guess. I'm
Yeah.
trying to think what other retaliators you can still. What are the other ones you can still play that are going to be good?
From Magneto.
Oh yes, Magneto. Oh, yeah, he's a great one. Like
He's actually really good because he has the placing thing, right?
yeah, he's got
So
TK placing thing, and he has the retail, and he's not colossal indifference.
yeah, and it's pulse wave. right? So it's pulse. His
Well, if
his
you playing
retail.
him, if you're playing him at 25, are we looking at him at 25 or 100?
Oh, you're right. You're right. 25 points. So he's just the retail.
He's
Um,
got TK, right?
yeah, he's got TK
Yeah. So
and
the
leadership,
TK leadership. So for 5 more points, like if you're paying 20 points for a group before, you'll pay the 5 points for all of his extra stuff.
and it's ruler also
Yeah.
ruler keyword.
And
Then he's
he's what, Brotherhood
he's
too. So
Brotherhood
Jason
sidestepper.
Wingard.
Yeah.
Um.
Hellfire Club. He's Hellfire
Yep.
Club also.
Oh God, even more. So
Yeah.
then,
So then it's
uh,
Dark Phoenix, Jason, Magneto, right? Because I think
she's
Dark Phoenix is Hellfire Club.
yes, she is.
So dumb.
Yeah.
Tri
So
Sentinel's
yep,
Hellfire.
Presento. Yeah.
So
So
dumb. Okay, so
that's
Hellfire is the
yeah.
team to beat.
Hellfire is probably the team to beat. Or you could do Ruler, but
Ruler's also good.
but like a lot of them are rulers too, right? Because uh,
Is Dark Phoenix.
Jason's a ruler, and so is
Jason is
Magneto. So, but then if you go ruler, then you don't have to just play the Hellfire guys. But I
right.
mean, shit,
But the Hellfire guys are
it's so
good.
good. Yeah. Brotherhood is also another one because they're both Brotherhood.
Uh-huh.
So you can play like Emma Frost. You can play Sabretooth. You can play the Construct Magneto. Things like that.
Yeah, I'm looking up Modern Ruler.
So I think, I think Amazo's one. I think you're going to see a lot of the Doctor Fates
Yeah.
because you can spam them. Also the Troublemakers. Oh man, I think those are
Troublemakers just spam. Oh, bull.
that's
Grodd
gonna
so
be.
far is my favorite, and that's like maybe I'm a little biased because I previewed Grodd, but
Oh, I
I,
when I saw him, I thought
I was like, wow, he's
I
great for
I
10
think he's
points.
amazing.
For 10 points, I can just token down your team.
Yeah. Like
Ultra
I think
Humanite.
I feel like Brainiac could do the same, right? Brainiac and Lex or Lex, one of them. They could do sim.
Yep.
They have a different
The
criteria, but they can still.
the extra effect to me is not as good because
What is it?
Grodd has the leap climb
And
mind
then he can
control.
attack, right?
Yeah, it's a Quake or mind control or
Yeah.
both. Or one or the other, maybe.
Brainiac could do the same thing.
But then he's got the token. He hands out action tokens if you're hindering, right? I think
Yeah.
for as a free action. So he's got leap climb, mind control. When he uses leap climb and moves 4 or less squares, he can use either mind control or quake at no cost.
Yeah.
And he's in power too. So if you're playing multiples, he's hitting hard. And then he's got the Revenge on Gorilla City. Once per turn for all characters with this effect, roll a d6, 3 to 4. Give each opposing character within 4 squares of Grodd that occupies hindering terrain an action token.
Yeah.
Or 5 or 6, you deal each opposing character occupying hindering terrain 1 penetrating damage.
What are his keywords?
Animal, Injustice League, Legion of Doom, and Ruler.
Yeah. So that's good.
So
Look up Brainiac. I think he might be like he's the next comparable one because he's a cosmic robot
scientist, future also.
scientist. Yeah. So the cosmic robot, those are real relevant.
So his is elevated terrain.
So yeah. So
which
the
is actually
difference is
just
hindering
pretty
elevated.
good.
So it's obviously not as good because people have free smoke all the time.
Oh, dude,
But he does have outwit, but he can phase an attack, right?
He can phase and cap, and he's got triple target, 6
Yeah.
range.
That's why, and
That's pretty good with
and he
11
has
attack. And
outwit, right?
Yeah.
So he would be the only other one that would be, if you're ever gonna make an argument that someone's better, it would be him. Because his keywords are a little bit better.
But he doesn't have the trait to add action tokens, right?
What does the Oh, he does. He should be the same. No, he doesn't because he's not Injustice.
He has the keyword.
But Grodd just has it. Is it the beginning of the turn for him?
At the beginning of your turn, Gorilla Grodd starts the game. Let's go show roll d6. Well, maybe he doesn't have it. Maybe I just thought he did.
Yeah.
Huh. Still good.
the troublemaker guys, they're all basically the same.
Yeah.
They just have different criteria for. But they can all like those guys can basically move and do something, and they have like an extra effect, but one's elevated, one's hindering. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
So
interesting.
does Brainiac fly? God, if he
Brainiac.
flies, Jesus.
If he
I,
flies, that's pretty good. No, he doesn't.
okay.
He does not.
Yeah. Triple incaps outwit.
Lex
11
flies
attack.
though, right?
Who?
Oh no, he doesn't. I thought Lex flies, but he doesn't.
It's weird because the sculpt is him on the jet boots.
Yeah, that's classic WizKids, right?
Do you remember when the Avengers said Scarlet Witch? She's on the flight stand, but she has
She's
a
on.
foot.
Yeah.
She's the, and the other one was the Iron Man from ADW. The ADW super rare. He's
Yeah, he
flying,
doesn't
but
fly.
the's no. It's a boot.
No, they didn't they errata him to
Yeah, they
fly?
did, but but they had to do that because they didn't have it
Oh my god,
on the dial.
hilarious.
Yeah, it's bad.
What's the most recent thing of that? Probably like Daredevil, right? Because he has willpower, but then he has Indom on the card.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So they're like, yo, he doesn't have Indom.
Yeah, because previously it was like the cards right? Like it was always like the cards right,
Right? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then this time it was like no, the dial's right. It's like we can't even be consistent with that.
uh,
Classic.
it's just whatever they think works will work, and they don't even have to tell you the reason. They're just like that's how it is.
Yeah.
Like okay, even though they ruled it a certain way, like no, that's just how it is now. Sorry.
So I wanted to have you on too. I was thinking about we were talking about the Target stuff, right? We
Yeah.
were talking about Target stuff. So what are your thoughts on Target getting the Black Widow
Stupid.
gravity feed when everything's supposed? So you and Jeff talked about it when they made the announcement. Did they say Black Widow was pushed back?
Yeah, they said everything. They said all this. I remember it said all the OP and all the releases are pushed back. Like you can go back to that announcement. They encompassed everything.
I'm gonna see
That
if I can
everything
find
was
it.
pushed back until further notice or whatever. I don't know. I would assume that means Black Widow too.
They actually gave specific sets, I believe.
I they uh, they just had a blanket OP sets.
They did for that, but that's
Yeah.
not an OP set, right?
No.
I'm gonna see if I can find it. So you haven't seen any at Target where you live, right?
No. And I'm just like I'm done. I don't want to because where did you said it was in the toy aisle?
In the toy aisle at the store I got it at, yes.
Because yeah, normally around here it's at the front with all the cards in the front and the but then so I just checked
Yeah.
in the back because they might be in there, but I haven't seen any.
So normally that's where they are at the Targets that I live by. But that's not the one that I got these from. So I got one from it's like the rich part of town.
Mm-hmm.
And they were in the toy aisle. And then I know I know Howard text me or IM me, one or the other. And he was like, "Hey, can you send me the SKU?" And I'm like, so I used to work at Target, right? If you've been
Yeah.
listening for a long time, you know that. And I was like, "Yeah, I guess. Like, why? Like I was like,
He's gonna go to Target and ask if you have the SKU.
yeah, but
Here's
they
this.
don't. But it doesn't ring that way. You know what I mean? Like, so Target doesn't actually stock those themselves. It's a
Yep, it's an
vendor.
independent vendor,
Yeah, and
so they wouldn't
and
know shit either.
yeah, and so what they usually do is they'll keep it like on a pallet somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
in the back or whatever. And then they go and the vendor comes and they pull whatever I don't know how they choose what they're going to stock, but they stock whatever they're supposed to stock. And so I was like, explain that to him. He's like, well, yeah, but last time, they did, I had to go in there and they don't know what they're doing, this and that. I'm like, well, it's kind of not really on them.
Yeah,
You know what I
because
mean? That's not
it's
their job to know
yeah,
because that's not their product.
it's the
And
vendor.
I kind of got upset with him. like I didn't tell him, but I was like, all right, I'll help you out, but I did tell him, like, kind of like if you go in there though, like, try not to give him too hard of a time, because like, and that's the problem with texting, right? Is you don't get tone, right?
Yes.
So he's texting me, and I'm like kind of thinking like, is he gonna go in there and raise hell? Like, I hope not. These guys are like for real. Like, I have a lot of friends that are like cashiers and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and like it's scary for them, right now, like to go, like
Oh
people are
yeah.
getting sick, and it's like, and you're gonna go in there and raise hell over little
Yeah.
plastic guys that they have no control over. So he must have got them, because I seen Easton was selling some.
Oh really?
Yeah, I got the gravity, I got a gravity feed, and I got a lot of hate for it.
Oh God. Yeah. That's what
Uh,
what I was talking about with Jeff and I were discussing it. I'm like, man, there's no devil's advocate to this. There's
no,
there's no other side to, like, why are you posting, like, why, like, what I don't like is when people just feel compelled to say something just to say, like,
yeah,
when people say, I'm just saying.
oh yeah,
There's no such thing as I'm just saying, because you're couple things. Number one, when you're saying I'm just saying, you're trying to convey a message. So you might as well just say what it is you
it's
want to say.
passive aggressive.
Yeah. And you're also undermining somebody by saying that. So if you were to say, let's say you made the argument, LeBron James is the GOAT. And then I say, well, I mean, he is 3 for 9 in the finals. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Right. It's like, well, fuck. I just completely, like, went against what you're saying, but I'm just saying.
yeah, I'm just
Like,
it's like a passerby comment, right?
yeah.
But
It's
it's
like,
really
no, but
not.
you mean something by it. So when people
Yeah,
say I'm just saying, it's not that. You're actually trying to say something. So like when that one guy was posting on there, I was like, dude, that guy's trying to. And it was funny exactly what you were when you said it. I was thinking the same thing. Like, oh, this guy's just hating because he can't get it.
yeah,
But
and
he's
and
trying to say it in a way that, like, well, I want to support my store. Like, yeah, me too. But
I
they're
had this
closed. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, I had this big thing typed up too, and I'm like, what am I doing? And it almost, I was this close to really getting caught.
Yeah,
And
you
then,
should send it
but
to me. You should send those to me first so I can read it, and then I'll edit. And then I was like, now you can do it.
because the thing is too, like, you know me, I'm from a very small town.
Yeah,
You know, um, I grew up buying local. My grocery store was a local grocery store, right? It was Valley Food. You ever heard of
yeah,
Valley Food?
no,
No. Okay, nobody has, unless you lived in the town where I'm from. And then, so it's like, it was Jerry's Foodland before it was Valley Food. Um, and then even on this page, the show's page, I promote local stores. I
yeah. You're
promote
always like, go to
my
Hobby
own.
Town, go to here,
go,
go to there.
go to
Yeah, yeah,
Legends, go whatever, buy a gift card, whatever. I bought, so like, I'm not looking for kudos or anything like that, but like, I went out of my way. I bought all of the employees for my local comic shop a pizza from Little Caesars. Nothing.
mm,
I'm working, and I'm actually getting paid extra right now to
yeah,
work. So the least I could do is support these guys who are, out of work.
yeah,
So I bought them all Little Caesars pizza each, right? Or whatever, something like that. Like, I'm a big advocate for that. So the fact that I went to Target for toilet paper
yeah.
and I found HeroClix, like, also, like, just get out of here with that.
Yeah,
If
I
that's
know.
the person you want to be, then this is not the page for you.
That's why
That's
I was like, do you know who that guy? You're like, I don't know. Well, I'll get a few of those every now and then posting on this. I'm just like, oh
yeah,
god. Some of them I do delete because I'm like, okay, this is just there's no reason to do that.
yeah, it's funny.
But yeah, that's
So,
funny.
like, are you pissed that you can't get that stuff? Are you?
I,
Is it kind
I
of?
mean, like,
It's
ultimately, ultimately you're like, you're gonna get it when it comes out. I'm like, yeah, so that's how I think.
yeah,
Um, so right now it's not that big a deal for me because I'm so swamped in, like, so I've been, because everything's closed and like we can't order anything. I just been going online and just buying collections. Sorry to anybody if, like, basically people who've tagged me for big collections, I've got them all, almost all of them. So like Ben Norris hooked me up with Karl Markovich, so I
yeah.
gave him a brick box.
So
For the
explain who Karl Markovich is for
Hair
those
10,
who don't
baby.
know, because you're the historian, right? You're the
Yeah,
HeroClix
yeah.
historian.
Hair
You
10.
should you
He
should
is,
have you
yeah.
should do a YouTube page, the HeroClix historian,
You
And
know
then
what? I would
and
love
then
to do
every
that. Dude, we should do that. Like me, you, and you know who would be really good on there? Edward.
oh yeah, Edward knows a bunch.
He knows a bunch of stuff. Of course, not for everybody because they're like, I don't give a shit about that stuff. But
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
it's
not,
it's like the
nothing's for everybody,
yeah,
right?
that's true. The it's like I like to say too. It's like those people paved the way for like the next generation of people. So
Yeah.
Hair 10 used to be a rules arbitrator. He used to be um, Chris
Christos Mil.
Hernandez is
Yeah,
the head judge now, right?
right.
Yeah,
Realms is what Christos Mil.
yeah. That's right.
Yeah,
Uh, but Hair 10 was that guy like
yeah,
almost like a generation ago, right? He was the back then it was the oranges, right? Was it
yeah.
purple oranges?
Oranges. There's the
But he
oranges.
was the back when
There was Norm.
oh yeah. Oh my god, and it's been so long now. So for the people who are new, before the WizKids had their site for the rules and the forum for the rules questions, everything was on HC Realms.
Yeah,
And
that's
there were actual so if you went to Realms and there was like an official ruling on something, that was a separate thread that would so kind of like what they have now when it has the erratas and whatnot, they had that on Realms,
uh-huh.
and it was maintained by Norm.
Yeah,
But the people that were doing the rulings were the oranges, and like one of the head guys was Hair 10, Carl
yeah.
Markovich.
There was like what Ed, I think,
Ed
Levi.
Ed Ed yeah,
Yeah,
Levi, yeah, him.
Mr. Id.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also, there's Vlad the Impaler.
yeah.
That guy. There's
I don't
um,
know who his real name is, but
yeah. Normal View is another guy.
oh, Normal View. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
So there's I know them by face. I don't know their names because I
Yeah,
just say, okay, that's Vlad
yeah,
or whatever. But when yeah, so then when that whole thing with WizKids and Realms came to a head, they just migrated over, and then like all the oranges are like, oh, we don't like, we're only
yeah,
gonna take these guys, you guys, whatever.
yeah.
And so he
What
was
about
one of those.
do you remember the original WizKids rules forum? Because that was before Realms. I don't know if you remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it was before like they had their own site, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I remember that. And that's also where I used to go look for tournaments if they had
yeah,
like if
yeah.
people were doing their monthly, yeah, whatever, because they didn't have the win back then, they just had those.
I was actually an official judge back then.
Yeah, me too.
Because
On
you had to actually take a test, right? Like similar to the rock
yeah,
judge test, right? But you had to get a sponsor. Somebody had to sponsor you,
yep.
and then to maintain, you had to have like so many events a month and all
You
that
know,
stuff. And HeroClix and WizKids actually used to do hobby groups back then.
oh really? So
Yeah,
you went in when I took my break because I
yeah,
was there from '02 to like the end of mid '03. So
uh-huh.
like '03, '04 around there. So they had so it was we were called envoys
Yeah,
and we had the shirts and everything, right? So,
yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
basically judges, right? But it was like so they were starting everything, and I remember when I first like because they were in Seattle, right, or in
Yes,
Washington, so they would
yeah,
come to do they
somewhere.
would do the Wizard Worlds and the San Diego
Yep,
Comic Con and all that stuff, right?
yep.
So I went to when the first time they were like basically showcasing the game. They had already had Mage Knight and Mech Warrior, but then they're like, "Here's HeroClix," and they went to Comic Con back in '02, and they were looking for volunteers, and uh, I volunteered and I said I'll go the whole weekend. So I did the whole weekend, but I couldn't get off work on the Friday, so I was only there for Saturday, Sunday.
Uh-huh.
But they gave me like everything was pre-packaged, all your pricing or
Yeah,
yeah your rewards, and they gave me the full. You know, I had to be like, hey, look, I can't take this because I was only here for half of the time. And
yeah,
then one of the guys like, well, it's already packaged, just take it. I was like, what the? I was like, okay, well, like, wow, thanks.
yeah,
But I was only there for 2 days. Of course, it's the worst 2 days, but
yeah.
still, I was there for
Friday
two
is the
days, and I was doing
easiest.
the
Yeah,
Sentinel scenario. But after at the end, when they didn't want to take anything back, and like you know how back then they had like the level 3, level 4, level 5, level
yes,
6 stuff.
yes.
They were just in the bags, and they were just like, you guys just split it amongst yourselves. And everybody just started taking it, and we just
And
taking it
never
because we're like,
got.
dude, we don't want to bring this back. Like we have to ship this back. We just
Yeah.
give it to you guys because you guys are also like breaking down the
The
booth.
booth. Yeah.
So here, just like, freaking take it. Like, oh my gosh. And you know, that was it had at the time it had Rupert and what's
Sabretooth, right? It was the
Victor
Sabretooth one.
Creed and Bruce
Victor
Banner.
Creed.
Like those were
Victor
the
Creed was the for a long time, I think, the most expensive
yeah.
figure.
Oh my gosh, I had those and I was like, oh my goodness, yeah. And but after that, then like the big guy that like the big head guy there, I became friends with him because he's from up north, and he was like from the entire West Coast side. He was like the level, whatever level
Yeah.
4, level 5 judge or whatever,
Yeah.
and he was trying to get people under him. So I was under him, and he
Nice.
made me at the time was level 3.
Yeah.
And then but then
So
they like but they
yeah, they
changed
restructured it all.
they
Yeah.
restructured it. Yeah.
So for my first experience, so back to Hairton, he also ran the Wizard World events.
Yeah.
The first one I went to was the Dark Phoenix, the year the Dark Phoenix came out.
Oh 06. Oh 05.
Was
Oh
it
05.
05?
The is it the black or the green box?
The black.
Okay, so that's older. Yeah, okay. I think
Yeah.
that's 05.
It might have been yeah, it was 05
04?
because I
Oh
had
yeah,
been
because
playing.
that's like me.
Yeah, I've been playing like a year.
Yeah.
um, so Carmel, he took me for my birthday to Wizard World in LA, and we stayed at his parents. It was cool. Uh, and I just remember going to the con. I'd never been to a con, right? Because like growing up, I wasn't like a big comic book guy. I didn't read like a lot of comics or anything like that.
Hmm.
And then we go to the con, and like there's Carl. He had long hair, right?
What? Oh wait.
Didn't he
Oh,
have?
you mean okay? I thought like,
No,
Carmel.
not Carmel, not Carmel.
Carl.
Hairton.
Yes, yes, yes.
He
He
had long
does.
hair,
Yeah.
right?
It's like
And
almost
I
like a
just
mullet. Looks
okay.
like a
If
mullet.
you've ever been to like a con and you see Anthony Barnstable running, right? Like
Yeah.
that was him.
That was him.
He was the
He's like I
original.
go back and forth.
And we sat down to play and we're playing and he's like, it's time to swag the hall. Remember that? Swag the hall. And they just drop an LE on every table.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and for every player. I'm like, oh man,
yeah,
this is fucking badass.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
dude, that was the fun, like
I,
the most fun back
you know,
then.
later on, Norm was the one that would do that. He would
Yeah,
stand up, be like and like everybody cheer hero clicks, whatever, and then they would like drop the LEs on at all the tables. Like everybody stop what you're doing, everybody
yeah,
stand up, and everybody like there's like a some cheer
yeah.
that you do, and then they would give everybody like here's this boom 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 boom. Like oh cool, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That's so fun. So then my next dealing with him was I pulled the Masterpiece Batman.
Oh, that you
That I sold it to Carl. So
finally came back to you.
I had car trouble. I sold it to Carl. But I remember pulling it and posting it on HC Realms, and Hareton messages me and he's like, I'll give you 2 Galactus, I'll give you this, I'll give you that, and it's just a ridiculous amount
How
of stuff.
hard are those to get?
The what?
The masterpieces.
Did I pulled one? So yeah, so there was 2 ways to get them, right? You could pull one, right?
Or if you win and you gave
or if you win,
you.
they gave you one. So like Roland has the Loki, right?
Yeah, Scott has one too, right? Of something.
Yeah, and then we went to was it Collector's Paradise? It's a store here in town. I think they're closed now. I don't know. My brother took me there on my birthday and bought me 2 boosters, and because I wanted veteran Batman, so I wanted veteran Batman because I didn't have it, and I opened the booster, and right there on the top I see the veteran Batman. Right, I see the red, and I see it's Batman, and I'm like yes, and I start to open it.
And they're like, no.
So it's just me and my brother, and my brother's he's driving. He had a Camaro, right? So we were driving, and I start to open it, and I see something on the back. It's like brown. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I turn it around, and it's certificate of authenticity. Da 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 da. Right? And I'm like, holy shit! Like I pulled
it's like a scene out of Willy Wonka.
Yeah, dude, it was the golden ticket on my birthday, right? It was exactly Willy Wonka. It was just bizarre, but I ended up selling it to Carl. Carl sold you his collection,
Yeah, I remember.
and then you got it back to me. So I'm like,
dude,
yes,
you know what?
full circle.
When you mentioned to me that, I was like, I don't even know because like Chase Chase and my cousin just threw everything in the U-Haul truck.
Yeah.
And I remember because he did tell me, he's like, hey, look, I even have the Masterpiece Batman. Like, oh, awesome. Just throw it in the. I'm like, whatever. Just we're trying to get
Yeah.
out of here.
Yeah.
Throw it because it's freaking hot.
Yeah, it's hot in
And
here. It's
threw
supposed to be
everything in there.
91
And
Saturday.
then you message me, and I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. I'm like, dude, how am I ever gonna find this? And then, dude, within the first year, I was like, oh my god, this is it. Like, dude, I got it. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
I was
so
like, I have
happy.
no idea, man. Like, like the one little piece in the entire U-Haul truck.
Yes.
Way. There's no way.
Super happy to get it
Yeah, I got
back.
lucky. I was like, oh, dude, got it.
But yeah, so you could pull it and or you can win it. There was a what Spider-Man you could pull also.
Yeah, each Wizard World winner got to choose a figure, correct? Is that what
Yes,
it was?
I believe so.
So
Yes.
they got to choose a figure, and then they got the copy of the figure, and then the rest were just like in the
Yeah.
boosters.
Yeah, something like
Man,
that.
so I know those are really really hard to find because I don't even see those like really listed. Very rarely listed.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's cool.
I I know like at the time,
Wait, is the paint job way different?
um, like on mine, so you can kind of see some of the brush strokes,
Hmm.
like that, because they're actually hand painted, right?
Yeah.
So you can actually kind of see some of the brush strokes on the cape, but the rest is like not really
So it's just a
super noticeable.
certificate that they're giving you
Well, yeah, no, I
and
mean,
the sticker.
yeah, I mean, like I
Is it
said, you can.
numbered? Because if it's
I don't,
numbered, then I guess you can see how many there
I
are.
don't remember. I think there was 50 Batmans though.
Holy sh! Dude, that's even less. Oh my god! Because
Yeah,
like those,
I
like the Illuminati scroll, the world's finest.
yeah,
There's like, you know, I don't know how many thousands there are out there, but they're numbered X number.
yes,
And I'm
yes,
like, oh, that's pretty low. There's only this many thousand considering it's.
yeah.
And then you're like 50. I'm like, oh my god, that's even.
Yeah, if I recall, there was like it was either 50 or 500, but that's still low.
Either way, like 500. Jesus.
And
And
Legacy was a hard set to get.
yeah, dude, a lot of that stuff is high value, man.
Yeah,
When also like when time goes on, like as time goes on, there's just going to be less and less supply of something, just because
yeah.
maybe something gets
It gets thrown
lost,
away.
gets broken, burned, whatever,
Hmm.
taught,
Hmm.
all that kind of stuff. So then there's like a less number,
Yeah.
and it's not like they just like Heracles doesn't do reprints, so
Nope.
like if you
They
want
did
that
one time.
specific, yeah. So if
They
you
did
want
one
that
time.
specific gambit on that pose,
You
that's
gotta go
it.
buy it.
And then that's why that gambit from Wolverine X-Men is like so expensive for a rare,
Yeah.
because it's only that specific gambit of that pose, that dial, and they haven't made it. So,
Yeah.
and that was like 7 years ago now.
Yeah.
So that's just like there's gonna be less and less, and that's why the price. I remember I sold at the peak that gambit within the last 2 years. I sold one for $25.
I know. I remember. I sold
That's
you
insane.
I sold you a lot of CUR stuff, right? I
Yeah,
did like a bulk, and
yeah,
then I was like, I have three gambits.
yeah,
Threw two in there, and then I see that how much they're going for.
yeah.
I'm like, fuck.
Dude, it's crazy. And unlike Magic, where Magic has a bunch of reprints all the time, of
Yeah.
course different for them because there's more players, more everything, but
Mhm.
their market is like this all the
Yeah.
time. And
Heraclix
it's
is like
it's
this.
like the like Heraclix is just kind of no, but Heraclix it's like a steady. You'll see a little dip here and a little dip, but it's not like this, because
Yeah.
in Magic, when there's like oh my god, there's this new broken deck, everybody rushes out and then the price just shoots.
Yeah.
And then what happens is like, oh, let's
We're
reprint the
starting
card.
to see that though. We are starting to see that.
Yeah, a little bit, right? Yeah,
And then like Captain America and the Avengers, I can't believe the price on some of these super rares.
I know, man. That
It's crazy.
but what's if Bronze Age really can get its foothold in the future down the line, you're not going to see pieces go off a cliff anymore.
Drastically drop, yeah.
It might go on a little slide, but it's
Yeah.
not going to be a cliff
Yeah. Yeah. There's
because
still a lot of people like I know like Jason from Married with Clicks, right?
Mhm.
Um he every year he sells his rotating
I
stuff.
know, dude, everyone they hit me up and I'm like, I'll get them all. I'll give you an example right now. So I have three of the ADW Hawkeyes,
Oh,
and
Super
I
good.
I sold 2 of them in the last 2 days at 65 each. That's it. That thing is rotated out. Why is it still 65?
It's super good, right?
Yeah,
And especially right now, we're only playing home games.
yeah, it's
You know what
true.
I mean? So it's
But
like
but
this.
but yeah, but see, like the cliff is no longer. It's not a cliff anymore. Because
Yeah,
you'd think like something that was like $80 would drop to like, oh, that's probably gonna be like $20, $40,
yeah,
but it's still holding strong at 65.
yeah.
So that goes, and that goes to show that some of the older stuff. I think when people realize that, oh, they don't reprint that anymore. Holy crap, that's all I can get now.
Yeah, the only reprints were what Universe and then Classics.
That
So they
was
did
it,
they
and that
did
was what, 10
Universe,
years ago,
Secret Invasion, man. So
12 years
fuck,
ago. That was
fuck
08.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
that's a
it was
long.
the starter set. It was the FF starter set
Yeah,
that they reprinted. It's crazy.
yeah. Waiting for that stupid thing.
Hey, I got one.
Oh, you did, huh?
Yeah. I gotta. I was gonna. It sucks, dude. I was getting ready to record with my brother all of this stuff, the opening and all this stuff. They just sent it to me, and then boom, shelter in place. Right? I'm like, fuck,
You
man.
should you just do it on your own.
I know, but it's hard because he has all the lighting.
Oh,
So he has all the lighting, and then just having the extra person to help out is nice.
exactly. Now you know how I feel when I don't have Michael here to help me.
And then like because I wanted to play, I wanted to actually play a game, and stuff like
Oh,
that.
this
Like
guy with them.
it's like nobody in my house plays, just me, right? So
Yeah, that sucks.
I gotta teach my kid to play, but he gets like
He's he's how old is he?
7.
7.
Yeah,
Oh man, he's Isaac didn't start playing until 9.
yeah.
So there, you got 2 more years.
He's a savage though, man. I'm telling you, if I could get him to play, he's got a mind for it. Just
That's
like
good. Yeah.
yeah, like you should see, like you should watch him play Pokemon. He tracks it. So so he plays against actually the top rated junior in the world right now is from Sunnyvale,
Hmm.
and she comes down to Fresno because Fresno has a league for every night of the week for Pokemon, and so we have a lot of the bigger point
Hmm.
events, and so she comes down here because she goes all over the place, right? Because in
Jesus.
Pokemon, if you're in the top 16, you get a travel voucher.
Oh really? Oh, that's
Yeah.
good.
So like when COVID was first starting, she was in Australia. She was playing at the international championship in
They
Australia.
let them go that far, like
Yeah,
all the way over there. That's
yeah, she
crazy.
got top 8 there,
Wow.
and she comes here, and my son plays her, man. It's so funny because she walks in, he's like, Mia's here. And he like looks at me, he's like, Mia's here. I'm like, do your best, and he has some close games with her. So a lot of times she mops him, but a lot of times
That's how you learn.
he'll have close games. So, but
Yeah,
she's
that's good.
she's gonna age up in this. Well, and
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah,
I don't know how they're gonna do that.
yeah.
So
That's cool, man. I could see the reflection.
I
You just
can't.
walked
Oh
by.
no, that's my girlfriend actually. Yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. I can't wait. I can't wait for him to start playing. I want to teach him.
You're gonna have to wait until 2021 because we ain't doing shit until
Nope,
then.
nope.
Oh man, this
He
sucks, dude.
he likes to open boosters though.
Oh yeah, who doesn't? Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
Just like just crack them. You know what? I let one guy come in the last 2 weeks because he just like, I gotta buy stuff, and then he's like, I'll just get a. I just gotta open a booster. Just open a booster. He ended up buying a case
Oh my god.
because he was just like, oh my god, this feels
It
good.
feels
I'm like,
so good. Yeah,
jeez.
it feels so good. When my daughter first started, my daughter played Pokemon, though not as serious as my son, and that just started because she just wanted a booster,
Yeah.
and so she opened a booster, and she opened like a $300 Charizard,
Oh
like first booster. I was like, what the fuck? Okay, let's go. And so we started just
shit.
opening boosters, and that's it's crazy.
Oh,
But
the people suck.
anyway, uh, anything else we want to talk about? So what's going on Sunday? What's going on this Sunday?
Bronze
We
limited,
have the
man.
bronze limited. I'm
Yeah, look at
playing.
some of the names. Oh yeah,
Okay.
like, you want to share this? So
Okay.
we can see?
Yeah, we could. Oh yeah, let me pull it back up.
Dude, it's like it's all star cast, man.
Oh my god, I'm so jealous of Pod 2. Like no disrespect to Pod 1 because like
You're all because
there's
I'm gonna roll them, but
no. Like Steve's in there, and like from Steve's a better player than I am right now. Um, I say
you're
this
all, but not on
because
Sunday.
well, he's more practiced, right? And
You can catch up just playing Sundays. You're good.
I could maybe. All right, so here we go. So we've got Pod One.
Damn,
It's myself, Joe. Uh,
dude, Joe's been killing it
I know,
recently.
man. I see him. David, Jose, Cedars. Cedars
Mm-hmm.
no easy out. Rob, Steve, and Mike Smith.
Mike
So
check. Yep, he's
so
back.
from this list, I have played everybody but Cedars and Joe. And so that's what kind of bums me out because I played George only one time ever. I've never played. I've
And then
never
you
played
got
Chip.
Faustin.
Yeah, he Faust, dude. And it's so funny is I never lost to Faust before that game.
Yeah, I remember you were playing him. You're
Oh
like,
my
this can't
god,
do
I was
anything.
so irritated.
Uh,
Um, and he's like, "I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry." I'm like, "No, you're not, because you played it.
yeah,
Like, you
you're,
can't you
you're
can't
like,
play that and then say you're sorry." But
I know.
anyways, so I've never actually played Zach. I've played Jesse only like twice in tournament. Adam, I've never played. Wes, I've only played like once or twice. Alyssa, I've played quite a few times. Tony, I've played once. Chip, I've never played. George, I've only played once. So like, it's kind of like, toss up of
yeah.
who do I want to play. But I think the more prestigious names are on the in pod too. If I'm being honest, because you got the
I
number
don't
one
know, man.
trash.
Okay, so all right,
So you
let's
got the
compare
number
this.
one trash, bro. Right? Okay, let's do this. So
So
me. So okay, pod one. Who's the biggest name? I would say Cedars.
Cedars is a two-time U.S. national champ.
Yes. And then what? Steve?
Steve won our 2K through that, and he's also top. He's also top aided
A billion times.
like a lot of times of just like all the high
National.
level stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah. And then
Um,
he won the 1K, also the
yeah,
Invitational.
yeah, the 2K, yeah.
And he
Michael
beat
Smith. Michael Smith is a and he beat Dan twice.
Dan. Yeah.
And Michael Smith is a two-time Rock Regional champion. It's just
Yeah.
he
From
doesn't live around here,
way
so we don't know him.
from well, I
And then
know.
yeah. Cool, yeah. Rob, obviously Rob's Rob.
Rob.
And then Joe is of course okay, Joe is a he's from Florida. You know who he plays with? I don't know
He
if he
plays
still
with
does.
Phil. Phil, right?
Well, Phil doesn't play anymore, I don't think. Isaacson, right? Are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan,
He,
right? He used to play with Ryan
uh
from Glass Cabinet, or no?
yeah,
Because
but
didn't
more
he
no.
play? Didn't
He
he
plays with
play?
Jared Buffington. You know Jared Buffington?
Yes, I know
Those
Jared.
guys,
Yeah.
that crew.
Gerard as
Is it
blow your
Gerard?
face off. No, that's how it's spelled.
Yeah,
But
but it's Jared, right?
it's Jared. I
Okay,
remember
I was like,
blow
my
your
God.
face off, dude would say Gerard.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. But yeah, he plays with them, and Joe is if you he's a little under the radar
It's
just
Joe
because he
Safa,
doesn't.
right?
Yeah, Joe Safia. He doesn't really play at that many events, but when he does, he's always like he won the regional that Justin and Justino and I went in
Yeah,
Florida.
that's what I was saying. He won.
Yeah,
That's what I
he
was
won a
trying to say.
regional.
He beat Justin, right?
Yep,
So you played Justin semifinals,
yep.
if I'm correct, and then Justin won versus
And
you,
then he played
and
and
then
played
he
Joe.
played,
Joe Safia.
and
Yeah.
Justin played bad, right? He like made two mistakes, I think, and then
And then
Joe
Joe just
Joe
like
just
capitalized on it.
yeah. I remember
But yeah, he won a regional, and he's like always, and he's
that
like
game was live streamed.
what's that?
Wasn't that game live streamed or
No,
YouTube?
it was recorded.
Okay, okay,
And then obviously you.
yeah,
That's pretty strong, man.
okay.
You know, and Dave.
And
You
David
know,
too.
Dave's won. He's won a trial. He went to the finals of the
He's
1K.
coming up, right? He's
Yeah,
coming up
and
final.
same like
I
him
think
and Jose are like the up and comers, right?
they're hitting their stride right now. I would say they're just starting it. So that's like me. I would say 2014. 2014, I started, hitting my stride,
Yeah,
and then 2015, I killed a lot of events,
yeah,
and then that was like my deepest run at Worlds was top 16 was
yeah.
2015. So I would say for that's where they're kind of at right now. And then pod two, so we have the goat, right?
Hey, George.
And then Chip, who's like the big bad in Oregon, right? It's like him, Brian, Corey, and then APB, right? Those are the big four
Yeah.
up there. So she's one of the big four up there. Tony, right? State
Hmm.
champion, multiple event winner,
He won our 1K too.
101K.
Yep.
Alyssa, she's been winning a lot of events here lately, and she tops a lot.
Yeah.
Although she went on 3 last week. Okay, fine, but
Yeah.
Wes is a multiple WKO winner, trial winner.
Hmm.
Um, Adam, national champion in
National champ, Team Worlds this
20,
year,
2014, 2014 national
2014,
champ. Yep.
2014.
Team Worlds winner, constant top
Yeah.
16 guy. Um,
Yep.
you got the Trash Bro who won
Yep. He won our
Jeff's
1K.
big event. Yep. And Jesse, so Jesse is such an underrated player, man. Because Jesse, I don't know if you remember or followed, but he would travel back east for the WKOs.
I saw that. One of the things though was he went to go visit his buddy, right? He
Jay,
moved over
yeah.
there. Yeah,
So Jay, remember Jay played at one of your events. He played the double dock
in
ops.
the finals. Yeah,
And yes, and then he moved. So then Jesse goes over there to go play, and he beat Jay Major.
yeah,
So Jesse beats Jay Major and all these other guys. He's won events that both PJ and Dan played in over there, if I recall correctly.
hmm.
And he goes to Pacific Northwest to play at times.
And he
So
won
like
our he won the last 1K.
yeah, so Jesse's super underrated. And then Zach, we've said a lot about Zach. Student, you can never sleep on anybody who studies the game like that.
Yeah,
So, and I've played on Roll 20 with Zach, and I've watched him play, and he
hmm,
has like a really great
hmm,
foundational understanding of the game, which is like super important to becoming a good player.
yeah, for sure. He sent me a picture of like what his first turn was gonna be
Hmm.
for his, and he's like, I'm working on my first turn move for this team. So I'm like, wow, that's already good that he's like
And you don't see
thinking
that
about it
anymore.
already. Yeah,
You
nope.
don't. So like PJ, PJ Adam, maybe like Paris, Dan. So like only really high level players do that.
Yeah, where
You know
they
what I mean?
really
And
think it
and
out.
yeah, and it's so funny too because even now with everything
Steve
going
does it
on,
too.
Steve does too.
Steve does it
Even
too.
now but he lives with somebody he could play with, right? Um,
Oh, that's true.
so
Yeah,
so like even now, like with everything going on, there's people home, right? And you still hear, "Well, I don't have time to do that."
yeah,
And I'm like, if you think about your time, like you think about money, right? So I have 24 attention dollars in the day. I like to spend $3 attention on the weekend to go play Hero Clicks,
yeah,
right? But that's the only attention dollars I want to spend on it. Well, then don't you have all this other money saved up or invested elsewhere? It's not that you don't have it; it's
yeah.
that you refuse to spend it.
You're just putting it. Yeah, you're choosing to do something.
Yeah, so you're doing something else by choice. So it's not. I always hated that argument. Like, well, I don't have the time
At
that
all the
you.
time. You
Oh
know
my
what it
god, it
is?
pisses me off, dude.
You know what's it's the if you really wanted to do something, you would make time
It's the
for it.
defeat. It's a defeatist attitude.
Yeah, yeah. But it's also like if it's something you really want to do,
Hmm.
you will find time. You remember when you came down to test that
Yes, the
the
Midnight
chameleon
Suns.
team? No, but you came, yeah, where
Oh
you
yes, the
played
Chameleon
chameleon
Doc
and
Ock team. Yeah,
yeah, like you're like, look, I set up time so I could come test the whole weekend. Like
yeah,
you did that. You drove all the way and you spent the weekend and we tested, we went, we did everything like,
yeah,
but you chose to make that time.
yeah.
So that's really what it comes down to is like, is it important enough for you to make that time? If it is, then you'll do it. If not, then you won't. But the problem is people a lot of people will make excuses or reasons. I always like I reasons are just dressed up excuses. That's my thing. So
It's justifications
yeah,
is what
so
it
like
is.
they're gonna give you a reason why they can't do it. That's really basically what they're saying is it's under the guise of I really want to, but I
Uh-huh.
can't.
Yeah,
But it's under that guise. But in reality, is I really don't want to do it. That's what it comes down to. They can say all they want because, like I always say, if you're really going to do it, you're going to make time. Like I
Yeah.
think that the perfect example would be you. You freaking drove 3 hours for the weekend just to test.
Yeah.
Like there's no other. Like look, you can't say anything when some guy drove 3 hours, or Jesse's case flew to play.
Yeah. And now with Roll20, it's even just that much easier, right? Or
Oh
like
yeah.
whatever
So,
other
but
ways
there's
to
going to
set
be
it up.
another. There's always going to be some other excuse, which means you
I
really didn't want to play it.
I don't like to set it up. I don't like to set up Roll20. If
Yeah.
you want to set it up, I'll play. I
Yeah.
tell
You didn't
Zach.
even. Yeah. You don't even have to set up. You just
Yeah,
show
no.
up.
Yeah, I tell
Except
Zach.
for the first time. Hey, my half my team is missing.
Yeah,
I
half my
was
team
like,
is
what?
missing.
These aren't the Spider Woman. They're like, oh damn it! I thought like
But
you were of all the 8 people, you were the only one that was like messed up.
that's just
That's what it was, and it was
that's
like
just
all
sweet.
messed up. I don't even know what happened. You know what's
But
probably weird was that I was like, what the hell are you playing? So I just threw stuff on there, and I'm like, I
yeah,
think this is it.
it was a good team. I had fun.
Oh yeah, that's all.
It's funny too because I was thinking about like Jesse and Zach. So I played with Jesse and Zach. I played with Zach one time. Zach hits me up. Hey, would you ever want to test? I'm like, dude, I would love to play with you, but you have to schedule it. I have to. That's my thing. Is it has to
Yeah,
be scheduled. The impromptu games and stuff
yeah,
like that. I don't. I can't do that. I don't. I I plan everything. You
yeah.
know. And so I'm like, if you schedule a time, I will make it. And if I can't make it, I'll let you know way in advance. You know. But my one caveat is, if you want to play Roll20, you
You gotta
set it
set
up
it up.
because I fucking hate doing it
That's why I think we get a lot of people in our
because you
thing
set it
because
up
everything's set up. So they're like, oh, you mean all I have to do is just sign up? Hey, let's go.
and it's $5.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, whatever, let's go. 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And the pictures are nice. Shout out to
Yes.
Corey and Brian.
Yeah, it's fun. I had a ton of fun playing the last time. Um, Super close game with Alyssa.
Yeah,
Uh, and then super tight game with
yeah.
Wesley. Um, which I thought I was gonna lose that one. Matchup wise, I think I should lose that matchup
Hmm.
because he was playing the Emma team, and
Yeah,
then I just rickrolled Allen. Just
yeah.
he had terrible dice. So, but that is what it is. But yeah, so we'll see you Sunday, and
Yeah, dude.
then
5 o'clock. Wait, you're
let's
in pod two. Oh, you're pod one. Okay. Because
pod
pod
one.
two reports at 5:30.
Okay, no
Because
pod
I'm
one.
trying to stagger it, or else everyone's there at the same time.
Yeah, so I'll be there, and then what we'll do
Yeah.
is we'll come back in a week or two, and we'll talk about it.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and then we'll do
Yeah,
some more
sounds good.
HeroClix history because I actually enjoyed
Yeah, yeah.
that.
If you wanna, yeah, just like line up like some time periods and we can talk about it. Just know that my my history from like '05 or '04 to like '08 is very hazy because I was playing versus at that time.
Yeah,
So I
so
was like in and out. I
but
was
that's
in and out.
perfect because I stopped playing Armor Wars, so I didn't play Armor
Okay.
Wars. So
Yeah,
perfect.
the second that I heard that NECA was buying it, I went completely all in on Hammer Thor. I just like bought I just
Yes.
like we're going all in on Hammer Thor because that's
Yeah.
it. And the rest is history. So
All right. All right. Well,
got the
thanks,
God
Pat.
Pack too. Even got the God Pack.
Nice. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Pat.
Hey,
We'll
thanks for
see you
having me. That was fun.
Sunday. I'll see you this Sunday for the Majestics limited format.
Bronze Age.
I gotta build a team.
Limited.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
play Paul. Maybe I play
Super Scroll
politician.
Brother Voodoo.
Bring it back.
Nobody's playing Super Scroll.
Fucking
Just
Darwin.
hopefully you don't play against Darwin, then you're fine.
Fucking Darwin.
Brian's not playing on Sunday, so I don't know.
Yeah, but Chip plays everything Brian plays. So, anyway. All right, guys. Remember, the real fun begins when you're 2 clicks from KO.
Yep.